What's up, y'all? Welcome into another episode of the Darion LH Show. Listen, y'all, we have been on a kick with the Pivot series. I appreciate y'all just so much, just for checking it out, taking a look at the video, checking out some cool people that's here in Charlotte, giving some inspirational stories about how they just pivot in life and how they came around and are now really successful, and sometimes just still trying to figure it out, just like myself. Now, I want to take y'all back, though. Just go back with me one time. Y'all remember during the pandemic, right? We don't like to think about it, but let's go ahead and think about it for a second. Back in the pandemic, where we didn't know what was left, what was right, what was up, what was down, and we were just all just trying to figure it out. But listen, there's one guy that I met here in Charlotte, that I found here in Charlotte, honestly, because he has a restaurant. It's called Buffalo Eats here in Charlotte. He opened up a restaurant during COVID. Who does that? Why would you do that? And I had to have him here because he has quite the pivot story for y'all. So I have him here. Mohammed Zaid is here with me. What's up, man?
What's up, Darian? How you doing today?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks so much for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate that.
Of course, of course. And you
Yes,
know
sir.
what? I knew I had to have you on once I saw a video that you had posted.
Right.
Because you have a location on North Tryon, right?
Yes.
And you're about to go to the south side of Charlotte.
Right.
And I saw that video, and within that video, you was like, no, y'all got to hear the story real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think so many people, which is what this pivot series is about, so many people get caught up in the aftermath, right?
Yeah,
the
they
actual
do.
success of it all.
Right.
But they don't see the journey that it took to get to that success.
Nah. They want to skip the journey part. Yeah.
Facts.
Right.
Facts. People
Yeah.
want to skip the journey part, but you can't skip it. You got to embrace
Yes.
every step of that way.
Right,
So I want to start back then. Once again, like I said, a time that we don't like to think about, right? But back in COVID, what was going through your mind? I'm talking about before you started the restaurant. What was going through your mind saying that I want to start this?
Well, when I was 18 years old, I actually didn't graduate high school. I actually went to a little program for like a high school equivalency, and I did that for like a few months. Mind you, I dropped out my last year of high school, and then did the program for like 3-4 months, and then after that, I was 18 years old. I had a job, but you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really much. Um, it wasn't really a good paying job. So honestly, I've always been a provider for my family, even 15, 16, 17 years old. I've been working since I was really young. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and I kind of worked around, some family business and got some inspiration, and I got myself in the door pretty young, like as far as service and just learning, basically some small basics. But when I was 18, though, I actually partnered up with one of my uncles. They had a shop that they wanted to get open. They were having a hard time getting it open, so they kind of offered me a percentage of the business, and they want me to run it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically operate it for them. And mind you, I'm 18 years old. Like, I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. I mean, I've been a cashier. I've been probably on the line cooking or whatever, but I've never like actually ran my own place. You know what I mean? Ran my own business. So I ended up opening for when I was 18 years old. I opened that up, and I was running that shop for about almost 3 years.
That's in Buffalo, right?
Yeah, that's in Buffalo, New York. It was called Buffalo Meats and Deli, and it's still there.
Really?
It's on East Ferry and Stevens Street. So a lot of people ask me like, yo, where did I grow up at? I kind of grew up in that area after I was like 13, 14 years old. So from like 14 to like 18, 19 years old, or even 20, I was there in that area. If I could make it in Buffalo where like I can make ends meet and I could operate a business, people loved my food, they loved, like, my clientele were a bit loyal. I was like, hey, well, if I can make it in a place like Buffalo, let me, like, basically get a shot here. Let me try it out. You know what I mean? If I fail, I'll just go back home. You know what I mean? Like, why not?
Yeah.
Got to give it a shot, dude. Got to try it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So at that point, like, I was like, you know what? Let me just stick on doing maybe even the same concept. Like, I won't even start with this whole, like, hot food, and let me just even open up a sandwich shop. Start small. So then when I brought back the idea to my partner, in Buffalo, he already had a mindset of coming out here to Charlotte, North Carolina. Like he always was visiting before me, and that's why like it kind of inspired me to even come out here too. Because my partner that I'm partnered up with now is the same partner that helped me open up the bodega, which is my uncle,
Oh, dope.
Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's with me a lot. He helps me a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And so when I went back and I told him what happened, and I'm like, "Yo, dude, you know what? Like, let's try to do something what we're doing here, just in Charlotte." He's like, "Yo, you know, I've been the last 3-4 years I've been going out there trying to open up a restaurant. Like, let's just focus on food, not do the convenience store
Yeah.
stuff." So I'm like, "All right, well, cool. That sounds good." You know, so then we, basically inquired about getting our business for sale,
Mm-hmm.
which was the one in Buffalo. And in the process of like getting all the paperwork together for it to be on sale, or getting buyers to come look at it or whatever, in the background me and him were working on going to Charlotte every like once a month, or you know what I mean, and just
And
coming
making it happen down here.
yeah, coming out here. Basically what we'd do is, we'll drive or fly or whatever, get an Airbnb for a couple days, and try to basically look at retail spaces that were available.
Mm-hmm.
We did that 4 times before we
Were
even.
they just not trying to rent to you all, or what
Well,
was?
the thing was, like, it's COVID, and like I was saying on the video, it's like, we came out here 4 times. We basically really don't have no real paper trail. We come from a smaller city, and then like, basically they're like, why? Like, how are you guys trying to open up a restaurant during COVID? There's been hundreds of locations that closed here in Charlotte, and you guys are trying to open up a restaurant. That
Right.
doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like,
So what was going through your mind when you was hearing that?
well, to be honest, I was just like, of course, like coming out here the second, third time, and we're like, we keep getting turned down away. We're like, what are we gonna do? Like, we need to go into a different field, or, and then like every time we were going back home, honestly, and like not showing up with something, it was like, you know, I don't know, man. Like, we were honestly, it just never like, we never, like took it as like,
Like,
it
took
kind
to
of
heart?
flamed us up. Like,
Yeah.
no, we got to make this happen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wasn't really like,
You used it as fuel.
yeah,
to
yeah,
like,
yeah.
kinda-
Because
kinda-
like
kinda keep
we'd
going.
go back and we'll be like, yo, because every time we visited, we're trying the foods. Like, we're going to little local spots, and like, the food is shitty. Yo, the food is shitty. Yo, this shit. Yo, Jersey Mike's is shitty. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
man, because that's
yeah.
one thing we don't have around here. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
like I've tried multiple places, and I'm like, why can't I find a good sub around
Right,
this
right,
place?
and that's
And like you said, Jersey Mike's is literally everywhere, but I don't want Jersey Mike. I hate Jersey Mike's. No offense.
Yeah.
If you want to sponsor it, I'm here for you. But
for sure.
but it's nasty. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So it's just like, where do I go? And like you said, honestly, a lot of places in Charlotte, it's like, dude, like you said, like the food really isn't that good.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? So
And
I mean,
it's
you
very-
had to use that as inspiration.
Yeah,
to,
that
like,
too.
go
That was
ahead and
another
get started.
inspiration about it, and that's why we kind of put it in our minds, like, yo, we got to make this happen, because like they need this.
Yeah.
Like, the people here need this, and everybody was talking, like, and then when we brought it up to people, like, they'd be excited. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, when we're just like meeting people and we'll tell them what our idea was, like, they'd be excited and be like, you know what, you guys got to have this down here. We don't have that style of food. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you came down, you did it, you got it started, and it's a big success right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I see you got all over social media,
Yeah, yes,
trying
sir.
new things, like bringing down like that chopped cheese
Yes.
situation. Mind you, first time I ever had it was with Yah. I've been seeing it all over the place, but like, what's been the response from people in the community once you brought that down here?
Well, a lot of people, I hear that like they love the food, and honestly, a lot of Southerners haven't had this style of food, so when they have it, it's just like, it just explodes on them, honestly, and
Yeah.
like the as far as the up north natives, I know like a lot of them, they try and they're like, yo, like, I'm from up north, but I've never even had a chopped cheese that tasted this good before, so that's honestly really inspiring to hear from people, you know what I mean, and also the feedback we get is amazing. Like a lot of people really just love our style and they miss it, especially the up northerns, and then the southerners, they just like go like, please keep it up. We need you on this side. We need you on this side. We need you on this side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's how we kind of came up with the second location, because I put up a post one time, and I was just asking people, hey, help me find a restaurant. Um, help me find a restaurant in existing space and let me know what areas to look in. And I literally got like 100 DMs about Steel Creek, South Side, whatever.
Yeah.
Mostly people were saying Steel Creek,
Yeah.
but yeah, there was a lot of DMs about that area.
Yeah.
Even though I love that area, like I've
Yeah.
always tried to get myself in the door over there.
I don't think
It's
it's a
just
bad area, really,
yeah,
Charlotte, really to go to.
right. It's just been
Yeah.
tough. It's been tough because the rent is so high there, and then like, it just there's always like restrictions because there might be another place that's almost doing something like you. Like
Yeah.
we always get kind of they kind of push us away from like places like Jason Deli, Jersey Mike's, whatever, and like these guys are everywhere. They're
Yeah.
national accounts. You know what I mean? They're in the best plazas. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
So what's like one of the biggest lessons that you learned, at least from that pivot and that transition from Buffalo to Charlotte?
well, I just learned that there's way more opportunity, and there's way more opportunities in bigger cities, and honestly, like, you know, moving away wasn't easy. You know what I mean? Like I was 20 years old at the time. I had friends, I had family. I literally came out here by myself. You know what I mean? Like I stayed in an apartment by myself. You know what I mean? Like that was the biggest lesson was probably just, you know, understanding that nobody is gonna like wait for you. You know what I mean? Like whether you're doing good or bad, like um, either you're gonna do good and then like you'll know the real people is gonna kind of you'll filter through everybody, and the real people that stick with you is the people that that really love you, and basically like you know they want to be part of your journey as well. I don't know, man. Not everybody's there for like because sometimes you like hold yourself back from doing something because you think like, oh, I'm gonna lose this person, or I'm gonna lose that person, or I'm gonna lose like the feeling that those people give to me, and how you know what I mean. Like my biggest, I guess, happiness has been really just seeing the stuff that I can make happen for myself and also for my family. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's like financially, mentally, their situation, whatever I could help you with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's very it inspires me at least. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. And what could someone learn even from your situation? If someone's out there now and saying like, okay, hey, I want to open up my own restaurant, or I want to open, start my own food truck. What's like the biggest advice you'll give someone?
My biggest advice would be really just be consistent at all times. Like even when you have ugly days and you're not paying yourself or things aren't really meeting your expectations, you really just got to continue the journey, and eventually it's going to pay off, because I've spent a lot of weeks at Buffalo Eats where I wouldn't be paid. I'd make sure that my workers were paid before me. I just made sure I had a roof over my head and food in my mouth. You know what I mean? Because I knew there was just something better coming. You know what I mean? Because I seen the consistency with the clientele, but also I woke up every day and I went to work. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what mattered the most. Me showing up, my staff showing up. You know what I mean? Like um,
And how you treat people as well, because you would think definitely within that space of owning something, and owning something where it's like where you have to have a team of employees.
yeah,
you know you're only just as good as what you give to your employees and
right.
what you pour into them.
Yes,
If you treat people well, if you pay them where they're going to at least be smiling, right? I mean, of
yeah,
course you can't make them rich, right?
right.
But at least I can help you pay your bills. If I can
Yes,
get you to that point, then people will do anything for you.
yes,
And they'll make sure that you're going to succeed, because I have to then want to come to work.
yes,
And you want it, like you were saying, like you want to keep those people around, but you got to realize that what you give out is what you're going to get back in.
yeah,
And that's what I've even learned within my own space of even, being a creative and starting a podcast and doing so many things and having to then create a team of people, because when you create that team of people, then you have to pay them people, and
Yeah.
sometimes, of course, we try to find the money, right? But you pay them a little bit more,
Right.
more than maybe the market value of it. But that's just to make sure that you come back,
Yes.
because it's going to be one day where I don't have it like that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I think like that's what I've learned greatly within my time of just being an entrepreneur is that, whatever you give out is what you're going to get right back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So your question was like, how do I treat them?
Yeah.
How do I treat my employees and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Well,
How do you make sure that,
that they,
and maybe it's because you've been in their position before, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah, yeah.
Buffalo, you were the cook, you were
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
everything, so you understand.
Yes.
It's like the level of understanding. You understand what it's like to be in that position.
Yeah, I've been in every like situation most of the time that they've been in, and whatever they're feeling, I've been there, and I know exactly how to talk to them and how to approach them and ask them about it. And honestly, like I tell them what they're thinking before they even tell me. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, I've been where you at. But how do I treat them? Honestly, I definitely treat them with value, and I let them know what they do for me and how I could help them. It's not about what I do for you; it's how I could help you. You know what I mean? So like anytime they have a question for me, or I give them an honest answer. I don't really like filter through anything because I want to keep it real with them, and I expect them to do the same with me. Like if I'm doing a shitty job, like I need to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they definitely, I value them with their pay. I value them with their how they get treated around the restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, and back to like how I treat people. It's really just I've learned so much with like I've probably hired over maybe 100, 200 people, right? But like I've learned so over that it took me that many people to like really learn people. You know what I mean? Like now I just filter through people so fast. Like I could tell who's a bullshitter. I could tell who's there for the long term. You know what I mean? Like pretty fast. Um, so the guys that really I get that energy from where like, or guys or girls where, um, I get that, or my employees where I feel like they're there for the long run. It's not like I'm not saying that I treat like the people for the long run and then somebody that's there, short term, this exactly the same. But obviously, I'm I'm more strict on the people that's there for the long term because it's like, hey, I want you to just be doing the right thing, even
Yeah.
when I'm gone or even when I'm not there, or you move on to your own,
Right.
concept one day. Like I want you to know everything just like how I know everything. You know what I
It's
mean?
about growth.
Yeah.
You know.
So I don't really hide anything from them, and I just try to, you know, really help them best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
You
What
know?
keeps you going?
What's that? I'm sorry.
What keeps you going in life?
Honestly, what keeps me going is I have a a wife. I have a child. I got my baby boy's is gonna be born on
Okay.
October 1st, hopefully. Baby boy Jalad, hopefully, and my family as well. Like I got a little brother, my mother, my father, my two sisters. And just like I was saying earlier, like I've been a provider since I was probably like 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
And they just keep me on my toes, man. You know what I mean? Like I've always had to play almost like a father figure early. And I still do, you know what I mean? Like now that I'm a father, obviously I play a father role, but also when I was a teenager or when I'm growing up now, like I'm always there for my little brother. I'm there for my mother a lot, for my little sister. Um, so uh,
Which could weigh on
provide
you heavy to really succeed.
yeah,
You know.
and providing for them, you know, it just flames me up seeing them happy. And I don't really like get them whatever the hell they want. Like no, they got to work for it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Uh,
there's something that sometimes you got to do for me or just make my life easier, and I'll make sure I take care of you. It's almost like my workers. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like my employees and my staff. Like
You get what you give.
yeah,
You get what you
exactly.
give.
So
Yeah.
they I guess that's what flames me up, man. I'm not gonna lie. And just honestly, what keeps me going as well is like, you know, these like I do my numbers every week, man, and it's like I don't really do like my numbers on like a monthly, my analytics on a monthly basis,
Hmm.
because that takes too long to like, you're sitting there drowning, and then maybe you get flamed up at the end of the month. Like I try to do it weekly, and like there's weeks like I break record breaking numbers. Like this week, for example, this Sunday, today,
Hmm.
like I will break a record breaking number in store, in house, like
That's dope.
yeah. So
Congratulations,
like
man.
we did numbers last night, and we're like, yo, listen, if we reach this amount of money tomorrow, which is our last day of the week,
Hmm.
we're most likely breaking record breaking numbers, and like, you know, things like that, like, you know,
Drives you up.
and I you see, in like, certain bosses, they hide stuff like that from their staff, and
Hmm.
you know, I don't hide nothing like that because I want to keep it real with them and let them know what they're achieving. Even though they might be making a shitload of money just because they're not really like I hate pocket watchers, and I don't really
Right.
have a lot of pocket watchers in my business. Like I kind of filtered through those people too, because you
Right.
can't have that in your business because those are almost like bad apples. You know what I mean? Like they just they mess up the staff. And
Yeah. And
uh
just the
so
workflow
so
culture.
even so like when I do break record breaking numbers, like I bring that up to the team and I let them know, what's happening, and and what they're doing for me and for the business. And hey, you know what I mean? Like, yo, we're going to celebrate it. Even if it's not like taking them out to dinner, but I just want you guys to know.
Wow.
Even if we have like a woo, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, let's celebrate it,
Let's
whatever.
celebrate it.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's like? So I mean, because when it comes to pivoting, of course, we pivot so many times. So I'll be honest. Of course, we could talk about all like the great things, with opening up the new location and even the current location. Uh, but currently in this place right now, with getting into this new location, is there anything that's making you nervous?
Uh, yeah, of course. I mean, like, you know, getting into this new space, honestly, it's a bit nervous because, like, I can't be at two locations at the same time. Like maybe this location is, you know, it's doing well and it's bumping, and, I spent a lot of time there and whatever. But it's like this new location is 2.5 times the size. There's dining, you know what I mean? Like, I barely, I like my concept, but like we don't really like people hanging around too long. You know what I mean? Like, so this is a whole different ball game. I'm not gonna lie. Like the whole dine-in thing, the kitchen is more bigger. Like I know the volume is gonna be much more, much more. Basically, we're gonna be pushing way more volume there,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be much busier. But honestly, like we kind of gotta just experience it and dive into it. Like, we can't really be scared, because then that's going to hold us back from just learning those new. Because it's like, okay, we kind of got great at this, but now it's like, okay, let's try to get into another space, and let's break some record breaking stuff there
Yeah.
too, and another, another part of this whole restaurant industry. You know what I mean?
Social media, because I feel as if you really utilize social media really in a great way. Like,
Yeah.
like salute to you, honestly, because that's really how I found out about it. I mean, it's down the street from me. I live in Noda. So,
Yeah.
like, it's down the street from me, but I really found out about you guys not from driving down there, but
Right.
just from seeing it on social media and just how consistent you are on social media. How has that just changed up and just elevated your business?
Well, the social media stuff is something that you have to do nowadays, like because somebody asked me this question the other day. It was one of my workers, honestly, and he asked me like, I think that like 70% of our business, he was telling me like, hey, I think like 70% of the clients you got coming in are coming in from like social media. I said, well, people just don't understand nowadays that you just got to be different from everyone else. Whether it's like, different recipe, or, using social media could just be a different way to just stand out. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Just being, putting it in people's faces nowadays, because people aren't driving around and like, just like you said, like looking at restaurants or trying to find out what's the next spot, or looking for new restaurants to try. Like everybody's just on their phones, you know what I mean? And you just got to put it in front of people's faces, which it's on their phones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
And make sure it looks good too, because TikTok, like you could do as much as you can,
yeah.
right? And you can make it look good and look
Hmm.
sexy and look very, mouth watering. But if such and such over here then walks in and makes a TikTok and shows it, like you have to make sure that it's consistent. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Because if
Right.
it's not, then all your work on social media
What
then
you doing?
becomes
Yeah.
nothing.
Well,
If I
yeah.
come in and make my own reel, or if
Yeah.
I come in and make
Exactly.
my own TikTok,
Exactly.
and it's not looking as glorious as it is on your own Instagram, so it's like
Yeah.
also keeping the staff on top of that as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Like, you got to make sure that the staff is doing consistently, making sure that the sandwiches are made the same. Nobody gets like more love than the other person does. You know what I mean? Like, we
Well,
need
now
to
that
make
we
sure.
talk, I got to get a little bit more love than.
Yeah. Right, right, for sure. That's completely cool. I got you. I'll make your sandwich.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, so yeah, the consistent part with the food is definitely huge. Like, and that's why like I do spend a lot of time on site, and it's not just like, I'm not walking around and just like not doing anything or just basically yelling at people or telling them what to do. Like, I'm
Yeah.
checking out the food. I might throw like a little secret shopper sometimes, you know what I mean, and try the
Uh,
food literally. Like, I do that because I want to make sure, hey, my food still tastes good the same way I taught you guys to make it. I want it to be just like that. I'm really consistent about how many pickles go on the burger. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I'm really consistent about that.
yeah.
So, and I got a good team where like, you know, if there is like if they see somebody else, one of their teammates doing the wrong thing, like they're on top of it
They're
pretty
gonna call it
fast.
out.
You know what I mean? They'll call it out. They'll help them and let them know, or let me know, like, hey, I've told them before, but now we probably need you to address it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because it just might mean more. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
And one last thing. So, what advice would you give someone looking at this right now? Listening, hearing your story, seeing how you came from Buffalo, you know, went out on a limb and just did it and doing it and
Yeah.
exceeding at it. What bit of advice would you give them?
If you're talking about like going jumping into something that you have no clue what you're doing, honestly, sometimes that's the best experience that you could get. Any brand or anything is going to require a lot of time. There isn't something that isn't overnight. Like, there's no overnight stuff. And if there is, let me be honest with you. Like, these overnighters, like, it's that their overnight success lasts as long as their overnight success happened. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Where like, it might be popping for like a year or two and then it dies out. Like, I'm here for the long run. So trying to dig into something, that's very new to you, just jump into it and, basically just be consistent with it because like the way I see it is, a lot of like I talk to a lot of older heads and they tell me like, hey, listen, I didn't really start making money until like 10 years, 20 years into the game, whatever industry they were into.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been my mindset too. Like, now listening to that advice and actually seeing it and visualizing it, I've seen people, their story happens after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you know what I mean? Like, then they get like, either, way more successful and, way more richer, or they do get rich, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, um, but I guess my advice would be just jump into it and just be consistent and learn as you go, because honestly, the best experience is like actually being in it and being hands on. Like, a lot of my training, like even at the restaurant, like, I'll walk through people a little template and then I'm like, yo, listen, the best experience you're going to get is just getting right into it.
Doing it.
And we're just, yeah, just doing it really. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You get better as you go,
Yeah. It's
you
literally
know?
what I funny you said that, because I literally just got the phone with
Yeah.
my mom,
All
and
right.
that was the thing I was telling her, that I was realizing within like this space that I'm in right now,
Right.
that I feel as if God has placed on my heart, and which I'm realizing is just do it.
Yes.
Do it.
Yeah.
Like, so many times I have it in my mind to think so much. I'm always thinking of like perfection, 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 when in reality God is just telling me, do it.
Yeah, there is no there's no perfection. You know what I mean? Like, I've noticed that even with content, like
Yeah.
a lot of my content is really just natural. We don't do no script stuff because we've seen the natural stuff work better. Like, I used to try to do the script stuff, and like being on camera with the script stuff was kind of like aggravating because then it's like,
cheesy.
yeah, it's cheesy, and then when you mess up, you get
No pun
aggravated. And you're
intended
like,
with the chopped cheese.
you know what I mean?
But yeah,
Like,
it's
yeah,
cheesy,
like,
yeah.
like, come on, dude. So like the natural stuff works the best for me,
It does.
and I believe it works best for anybody really. Like think about these guys that's into like the streaming stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like that blew up because
They're themselves.
they're themselves.
And we're so
bro.
used
And,
to like,
yeah, we're
structured and
yes.
people where like you have to be
Yeah.
just a certain way. So I definitely understand about just being yourself and like having that just succeed. I thank you so much for coming, man. For the people who maybe have not been to your location, can you let them know the address?
Yeah, of course. So we're Buffalo Eats, located at 5015 North Tryon Street in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're open Wednesday through Sunday. We're open very late, so I don't want to hear you didn't show up, you didn't make it. Whatever the situation is, you get a delivery right to your door, whatever, man. Just come check us out, 5015 North Tryon Street, and we're coming to the south side or Ballantyne area, so I can't wait to be there. And I appreciate you for having me, Darian.
Of course, brother.
And it was a great opportunity, man.
Keep doing your thing, brother.
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing. You're a
For
young
sure.
entrepreneur out here doing something, that most people can't do,
Yeah.
and just know that you're inspiring people. Just know there's always a space on here for you to keep inspiring people.
Yeah, yes,
Anytime
sir.
you want to come back, I appreciate it.
I'd
Maybe
love
we
to
can
come
talk
back.
over maybe a 10-piece wing next time you're here.
Yeah,
You
bring
just
some-
let me know. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I gotta bring some food next time. And I want to tell you something that a lot of people don't even know. That
Yeah.
like, you were telling me like, we beat the odds, man. Like, because the thing is, it's scientifically proven or analytically proven, like, 80% of restaurants close within the first year, and 90% of restaurants close after 4 years. And here we go, we're like 4 years later about to open up a second location. So this story is like, we're going to continue the journey, and honestly, like, we want to be providers, and like, this isn't just for me at this point, you know what I mean? Like, this is for the community of Charlotte, and just for the people that just can't have this food, you know what I mean? Because they're missing out on it.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're trying to build like, opportunity for, younger folks that, want to get into the game, and we try to teach a lot, man. And I just want to say shout out to my staff,
Yeah.
because they've held me down, man. And I just love them, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm actually treating them to something nice, man. We're going on a trip the 24th.
Where y'all going? Is it secret right now?
No,
Okay.
it's not a secret, but I'm taking them to Florida, man, and we're just gonna go out there for a few
You
days.
know I'm on the staff, right?
Nah. I mean, you can try to come, but I gotta try to put you down. See if it's in our budget, man.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
man, that's what's up. Now,
Yes.
that's how you treat your people.
Right.
That's how you treat them,
because, Yeah, because I've never did anything like that for my staff. We've
Yeah.
taken them out maybe once or twice, but like going out of town and like doing like a whole, kind of work trip, and just, I can't wait to like see what this is like, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know this is gonna be a bunch of fun, and like I might got them locked in for life after this.
I
you
mean,
know what I mean?
listen,
Like,
I'm gonna have to
and
be
that's
in
what it's
there
about,
too, dropping
man.
some
And
wings,
and this is what
making
it's
some
about.
chopped cheese.
It's
what I
not
mean?
just about like making the money, dude. It's about like what fires me up is just like, providing the life that these people didn't have before they met me. You know what I mean? And it's very inspirational to see, and I would love the opportunity to do it for more people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if he
Yes,
hiring,
sir.
y'all better go.
Right.
Get in while you can,
Right.
bro.
Don't try to come just because you're going on a
the
trip, man. I don't
well,
want
you
to see
let
you.
the people know now.
Right.
So.
I don't want to see you gone after the trip. We locked in after that. We locked in after that.
Muhammad, thanks so much
sir.
for being
Thank
with us.
you,
I
dude.
appreciate it, brother. And I appreciate y'all for being here with
For
us as
sure.
well. Listen, y'all can follow us on every platform, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Darian Henderson on Facebook, Darian LH Show on Instagram, and also everywhere else as well. Make sure you subscribe here to the channel. Y'all have a great day, and see y'all next week here on the Darian LH Show.
Yes, sir.